All right, everything's starting up here, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Uh, Time for an afternoon Q&A session. Don't have a particular topic I did yesterday. Don't have one today. Just going to sit down and chat with you lovely guys and gals. These tend to be pretty good view anyways, anyway I break it down. Hopefully the Facebook wants to load. It's not trying to load. It's still trying to load. Is it going to load? I don't know what it's going to do. It's trying really hard. I might have to just completely restart it. Let me give it one more try there. I don't know what happened. Let's give that another go. Then I'll get over to you lovely people on the Facebook and or on the YouTube, and we'll get conversations going. Sorry about that, guys. Did you see the most recent expose on Mike Israetel? Super viral. Everyone is talking about it. Even all over social media, my Facebook, everybody's talking about it. I haven't had time to see it yet because I'm too busy talking with you lovely guys and gals for hours a day that it hasn't given me the free time to go watch it. But quite frankly, I just don't really care enough. But I mean, we can talk about a lot of it here. I mean, I've kind of said more or less before, that my take on Dr. Mike has been largely that he's just a marketeer. Look, he's selling his app, he's selling his Renaissance periodization stuff. He doesn't really particularly care about evidence or science. And I think at a certain point, you got to look at it and go, dude's over here talking about doing 25, 30 sets of muscle group and building up and then reducing workloads and then resensitizing the volume. There comes a point when you look at that, you got to know that it's nonsense, guys. You got to know this is just marketing. It really is just BS at a certain point. I just can't, guys. I just can't. All right. Some of it should be common sense to where people go, all right, this is just getting ridiculous. Because again, a lot of the stuff that he promotes is not based on any evidence. And you can argue about a PhD all you want. You don't even have scientific evidence to support a lot of the things that he claims. They're just his own personal, opinions. And that's okay, but just call them what they are. I have a lot of stuff that I say, hey, this is my opinions, right? And that's okay. It's based on my experience. I don't try to claim it's based on a PhD or it's based on science or large amounts of evidence always. It's not. Sometimes it's just my experience as a coach. And if he would just be honest about that, wouldn't be a big deal. But he tries to promote it as in science-based and sell his app. Hit that like button, guys. Why are people in here commenting? Y'all not dropping the likes. Coach looking extravascular today. Well, I think it's been every day lately, right? We got veins popping out like crazy. Hey, Coach, that's what he said. We should ask Mike if there's any good studies show exercise science PhDs are good choices or good coaches. Ooh. Generally not. Hey, Dingleberry, probably. I mean, look at all the memes about women with gray sweatpants season. That's all you need to know, right? Also, somebody took a like away. Who did that? We had 2 likes. We're down to 1 over here. Not cool, y'all. We're not going to tolerate that sort of insolence, right? We're not going to tolerate that insolence. I can't even talk today. I don't even care. We don't even care at a certain point. But I digress. So, yeah, Dingo, I don't even know what you're talking about. You just troll too much sometimes. Would it be safe to say you won the beef against NA? She hasn't uploaded in almost a year. I mean, what more is there? Keep in mind, that's a guy who built his reputation off hating on me and literally just making up lies about me. Let's be clear. The dude made 26 hours of documentaries about me. 99% of it, he just fabricated on the spot. And it added to the crazy legend of the fictional persona people have about me. And at a certain point, none of it even resembles me anymore, like me as an actual real person. It just got crazy. Coach, your opinion on flexing pumped in the mirror to attract female individuals? Probably not. Can flying 6 hours affect strength levels? I already told you that it can. Dingleberry, we've already had this conversation in a previous live, and I told you, yeah, temporarily, obviously. But it's not going to ruin your long-term gains. You know, he gives an outrageous French accent. I feel like you need to drop me a super chat if you want an outrageous French accent. At least $2. Come on, drop a super chat. Thank you. As long-term subscribers, this volume of content from you is incredible, and it's good because it's making my subscriber count just kind of trickle up, and I'm getting it on both platforms. That's the thing. Like, now that I have everything fully set the way I want on Facebook, my ability to multi-stream, it's going to be sustainable for a little bit, unless my client load really picks up or something. Dingleberry says, like if I fly in Saturday night, then have Sunday morning of an eat and make sure I'm hydrated, should be going to. Yeah, of course. We're only talking the next day, Dingle. Okay. Or the same day of the flight. You'll be fine. Right? You'll be fine. Also, guys, hit that like button. I hear people asking me to do imitations, and they're not even hitting the like button. I don't feel loved, man, when you guys are not hitting that like button for Coach. You should have ring my bell, baby. Click that like button. And then I'll consider doing an outrageous French accent for y'all. Right? I'll think about it. You get to see? No, it doesn't tell me who hit it. But I mean, there's like 5 people posted. So it's pretty obvious. Most of y'all are slacking. Y'all slacking. So we're not taking requests until people show Coach some love. Y'all got to show me some love if you want me to take requests, like doing an outrageous French accent. Like, National Apostrophe. Right? Man, that's going to be the end of it. People aren't willing to do it, and I'm not going to do it. Coach, you think belt squats are good for quad development? I feel them more in my abductor muscles. Abductors or adductors? And why does where you feel it matter? Meaning, if you have a multi-joint exercise that you know is working multiple muscles and you feel it in one, are you sure that it's actually working it more? And also, I would question, so why are you doing them with a 6-foot width then? So if that's where you're feeling it, then why are you doing it all the way out sumo stance, toes hanging off the edge of the rack? Maybe that's your problem. Bring the feet in a little bit. Go ass to grass, right? Bring those feet into shoulder width and go all the way down, and I promise you, your quads will burn like holy hell on a belt squat. All right? But I don't think they're necessarily better than a back squat. You know? At the end of the day, hell, all I do anymore is back squat and push a sled. All right? All I do is back squat and push a sled, and I think at this point my quads are doing pretty good. Right? I mean, I got quads of the gods right here, guys. What do y'all think? We gonna deny that? All right. Just saying. Quads of the gods, quads for the broads, glutes for the sloots. Do you think prostitution should be legal? Yeah, I think it's largely, as long as I think it should be regulated if it is. Meaning you got to make sure people aren't being sex trafficked. They could make it a licensed profession like some places do. It'd probably be fine. That way they make sure they're not being, trafficked. They can be tested for STDs. Will you be streaming later as well? No. I got to train legs, send me some good vibes for some PRs. I'm committed to becoming the number. There you go. No, dude, I won't be on here later unless this one runs out. All right? Got to be the number one Jason fan. So, I almost feel like people are like they want me to imitate Frenchie, but it's like he's gone. He's disappeared. He's gone and dead. He's been deported or whatever. Let me grab him. And, they sent him back to Algeria. So I'm not sure what people really want from me on that. Does he matter anymore? He made a bunch of hate videos about me, and now he's gone. So maybe when they delete his channel, all that disappears. Coach, I went on a date with a girl last week, and she said what my gym routine was. She asked you. I think that's a good sign, man. If she wants to know what you do in the gym, unless she was like, "Why are you so small? What are you doing wrong?" Unless she worded it like that, I think you're good to go, man. Let's double check on that, though, El. Let's double check. Did she word it that way? How did she word it? Let's explain. Let's get that going. Ghost says it's legal here in Germany. I mean, really, it should be. It's not like it's not everywhere, anyways. There'll be some places that won't get it, even if they make it more. So, like where I live in Texas, probably not. They would be one of the last holdouts, but that's one of those where I don't necessarily agree with the right. It's the oldest profession, pretty much. Not saying it makes it right, and I think that's the difference. Not saying it makes it right. Hey, Dingle, I have no idea. Dingle, you ask a lot of questions, but let me be frank. I don't really know anything about like gay culture. I don't. I'm straight, and I don't really know anything about the culture. So maybe you're going to have to go ask other dudes inside your circles, man. I don't know. Coach, you think 1,800 calories is too extreme for a 5'9"? That sounds really low. I don't know. I mean, when we're talking calorie intake, don't you think it's relative to what you burn and what your maintenance is and how much muscle you have and so on? To me, that sounds extremely low. That sounds extremely low. Why are we not getting likes? I'm getting more people coming in here who are asking questions and nobody's hitting like. Right? Do you think it's weird to take a girl to a gym for a date? No, not if she's a gym girl. I don't see a problem. No. Like, there's no wrong place to take someone to a date if they're okay with it, right? People worry too much about that sort of stuff, and just instead of saying, if I'm compatible with someone, really and truly compatible, then they're going to be into the same things I'm into, so there's nothing off the table. Well, in that case, no. If she's not a gym goer, then no, that's just silly. No, Dingle. Hey, Dingle, I'm going to quit answering all your sexual related questions at this point. Just letting you know, I'm going to ignore them henceforth. No matter how much you type to read them out, I'm just going to pretend I don't see them because they just get ridiculous. So instead of doing something like banning you, I'm just going to ignore that nonsense. Is that fair? I don't think you understand what sort of channel I run here. And that's okay. I'm not going to ban you. I'm just going to ignore it. It's inappropriate. It's inappropriate for our conversations here, and particularly given the rules of Tube and Facebook. Like, me answering those questions would literally cost me money. So, quite frankly, I feel like you were trying to steal from me. Like, it's irrelevant. Hey, Dingle, but that would all be irrelevant. I feel like you were personally trying to steal from me. So I'm going to ignore it. I'm not going to ban you, but I'm going to ignore all your lewd questions henceforth. So, all right, let's get over to some real conversations. So, Elle, I'm going to say no in that case. If she's not already a gym girl, then no. Like, if she's really serious. What are your thoughts on RFK? I need you to be more specific. By the way, it's one of my biggest pet peeves when people ask me, what are your thoughts on, and they simply drop a name or a very basic topic. Okay, thank you. I don't know all of his health advice, but a lot of it's been pretty bad. I think he's been a major disappointment for those of us who care about health and fitness, who would like to see the idea of Maha actually come to fruition. He's dropped nothing but bullshit. Right? It's been nothing but BS, unfortunately. And I wish that wasn't the case. Like, I wish he had gone after stuff like actual refined sugars. And no, replacing high fructose corn syrup with table sugar does zero. There's no health benefits. They're identical in terms of their negative effects. It doesn't do anything. So that's a complete waste of time. That's a complete waste of tax dollars, complete waste of laws, a complete waste of policy. Unless you get rid of both, it's don't even bother. Meaning it's done nothing. You might as well just leave it. Does that make sense? Like, if you're just going to allow high fructose corn syrup to replace a table sugar, there is 0 point in banning it. There's no difference. Please note, I'm saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying replacing red crack with blue crack is still crack. Right? So stuff like that is complete nonsense. Taking one thing and replacing it with something objectively worse. Replacing seed oils for deep frying with beef tallow, you've gone from bad to worse. Medically, scientifically, biologically speaking. You've taken something that people already shouldn't be eating and be like, this is junk food. This is making people sick. We need to get rid of all this fried food. And taking what you were frying it in and make with something that is objectively based on the data worse. Like, so there's the policies that he tries to implement are not helpful. Now, if you want to get rid of refined sugars, I'm on board. You want to quit giving people fried food, I'm on board. Replacing garbage with other garbage is useless. Music Saint Light, I want to increase my pull-ups for a sport. How can I train for this while also running and doing a full weightlifting routine? By doing pull-ups. Light, I'm not sure that I understand your question. So that's the same as any exercise. Okay. That the answer to that would be no different than you said, hey, I want to increase my bench press for a sport. How can I train this while running and doing a full weightlifting? Or I want to increase my barbell curl or my deadlift. Like the exercise itself isn't necessarily relevant. You need to write a good program that has everything balanced and trains it. Does that make sense? There's nothing special about the pull-up in this context. You could just replace it with another lift and ask the same question. Right? So you just need a proper balanced program that balances the amount of volume you're doing on your running and your lifting. And that's just one of your exercises. So think of it in that context. I mean, I do all those things. You see my workouts. I do pull-ups every workout. I squat, bench, and deadlift every workout. I run 3 or 4 days a week. Right? I vlog all of it. It's just normal training, you know? You just balance it all out. Coach, why aren't you streaming Black Ops 7? Is that like a joke, or I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know, is that going back to the fake Merc thing as a joke, or what are we talking about? So could you please clarify the question? Assume that I have no clue what you were talking about. Oh, it's a video game. Okay, thank you. Keep in mind, I don't really know what streaming video games technically is. It's a term people talk about. I don't actually know anything about video game streaming. Let me be clear. So this is outside of my wheelhouse. Okay, number one. I don't really understand what streaming video games means, number one. Number two, I don't play video games. I haven't in a long time. I think they're a bad time scene for dudes. Number three, I didn't like first-person shooter games when I was a gamer. So there's 3 reasons as to why. How's that? Is that a fair answer? Yeah, I gave you 3 completely distinct reasons that each one would stand on their own. So I think that's pretty solid, right? You know. Now, in the context of all that, the question might seem kind of silly. You're like, oh wow, the dude doesn't know what streaming is really, and he's not even a gamer. It's like, oh, well, that kind of makes sense. Coach, in an old video, I saw you with a Fallout shirt. It was a good shirt. So I didn't play Fallout. Let me be clear. My girlfriend at the time loved Fallout. She played the hell out of Fallout all the time on the Xbox, right? She bought me the shirt. So it would be, why would it be good for my views? But just because it's good for my views doesn't mean it's good for my business. I need all my views here to feed back into my coaching business and my other stuff. It's not going to get me clients. So even if it makes a small amount of ad revenue, it's outside my wheelhouse. So no, I don't think that it would. All right. So now you're wanting me to add a whole new skill in a niche that I don't really enjoy, hoping it feeds my coaching business and makes a few extra dollars. No, I need it to make a lot of dollars. Like if it only makes $1,000 a month, it's probably not worth it. So I've kind of set one of my goals. I need my income back to $10,000 a month. So, yeah. So, yeah, but I don't know what. So, but I have to learn a whole new skill. You see what I mean? So I suck at FPS games and never played them and didn't like them. So it would be me trying to figure out how to stream and being really shitty and sucking at a game and losing, like losing 20 times in a row and not knowing how to stream and hoping it makes me grows my coaching business. This seems like a losing strategy, right? I just don't see doing something you suck at that you're not good at and you don't enjoy really increasing your business a lot. You know what I mean? So I think this is a bad piece of business advice. So, Alan, I'm not even going to answer that. Music saying, I need to increase my pull-ups from 15 to about 40 to 50 for a specific sport I want to do. How come about training? Okay, music. In this case, you need to hire me. So if we're asking questions of this magnitude, I'm going to have to coach you. It's $250 a month. At this point, this level of question, you're not asking me for advice. You are saying, I need a coach. I need you to take over all of my training and fatigue management full time. That is my answer to this specific question. This is no longer just a minor. Also hit that like button, guys. Why do we have this many commenters and only 2 likes? Come on, guys. Y'all can do better than that. But no, music. That is literally a request for me to coach you every single week. That's no longer, hey, can you give me some advice? Make sense? That's where you're at with a question of that magnitude. Notice I answer a lot of questions. Stuff like that is saying, hey, I need to put in a coaching application. That's your answer. This is a serious conversation where I need to get you into a consultation call, break it all down, map it out, So, right. Oh man, this stream isn't going to do well. I can tell today because it got taking up a video game talk and Dingleberry's gay talk. This is going to need a while to catch up to something useful. Dingleberry, honestly, at this point, to be fair, if I wasn't trying to not ban people, I'd probably just ban you at this point, like really and truly, with just the nonstop gay sex questions. You know what I mean, dude? Like if I was banning people, you'd be gone at this point. I'm trying not to ban anybody. So just an FYI. Doctor says, you ever going back to live? No, why would I? I've made it very clear that I wouldn't want to do that. Plus, I've already said I don't plan on leaving the U.S. again. I've let my passport expire. I've not renewed it. Good day, Jason. Martin says, I wonder if I might please ask a question you just did. Now, I may not answer your question. So here's a fair answer. Martin, yes, you are free to ask a question, but I'm also free to ignore the question. Deal? All right. So also, if anyone could chime in here who's able to comment, were you previously banned and are you unbanned now? Where would you live if you could outside of Texas? I'm not willing to answer that question, doctor, because that pertains to my personal life too much. So I'm trying to keep my personal life off the internet entirely now. So I'm not going to answer that question other than to say, I'll just stay in Texas, you know. But people don't need to know things like, where would you do? What are your plans? What would you do? You know, unless you're okay with me lying. But then we run into the problem of, oh, he got caught in a lie. So it's kind of a lose-lose. Yeah, seems a bit too hot. I'm used to it. I was born and raised here, though. You know. What do you mean in terms of my interacting? No, I interact just fine with the public. You talking about internet? You mean interacting with internet trolls? How do you manage to cope with all of it? You just deal with it, dude. I've gone through worse stuff in my life. Right? So, Jason, what's that weird noise? That would be my air conditioner. Do you not see it right there? You just deal with it. Music says, I did not think it would actually be that complicated. Well, you're asking me for you. So since you're struggling with it, it clearly is that complicated. So it sounds like you're trying to do some sort of high level sport where you need to do an enormous amount of pull-ups while balancing it with running. Yeah, that's complicated. We're dealing with high level sports at this point. Right? I wondered if well, of course it changes people. I mean, life experiences change you, Martin. But honestly, I'd rather not even talk about that end of all of it. You know what I mean? It's like the only time any of it affects me is when I dwell on it. So do you see what I mean? So even dwelling on something like that would be the problem. If I just kind of like, then it doesn't affect me at all. Like that's one of the best things you can do. And I'm in a situation now in life where I can just ignore all the nonsense, right? I have no requirement to look at any of it or consider it. Do you ever need to visit a physio? I'm not convinced that physios are particularly useful. There's a lot of quackery in it. I've rehabbed plenty of stuff myself. Right. Hey, Skrillex, I'm not going to discuss my business model at all, to be honest with you. Again, if you guys want true answers, I'm not really going to discuss all of my business model with the public. Right? If you explain your strategies and plans to people, it gives them the ability to derail you. So wouldn't it be wise for me to just simply not discuss it? If I were an intelligent person, that's what I would do. I'm just curious, so I can start. I don't know. Well, you're going to need to hire me then for business advice. So Skrillex, if you want me to give you business advice, then you're gonna need to hire me for a consultation. Martin says, understood. Your self value is not based on external people. Yeah, no, it's not. Not at this point in life. I'm too old for that, dude. I'm getting old. It's something you'll notice, Martin. Notice that most middle-aged people and up, they care less and less about that. They just have their own self worth and they just don't care. I'm kind of at that age, so it's not that I'm special. It's that I'm old. Right. Oh, the funny thing is the number of scrutiny, but most of it's wrong. Like people don't even get the stuff right anyway, so it just doesn't matter. Favorite rugby team? I can't name a single rugby team. Um, yeah, I couldn't name a single rugby team if I had to. Like without me pressing anything, and you get to press any button, I could do. Isn't there one called the All Blacks? I think is that a rugby team or is that football? That's the best I can do. As a strength and conditioning coach, what circumstances do you find to be the most complex of injuries and type work you do? The most complex will be people who come in with pre-existing joint pains and problems, like pre-existing already can be the most complex that I have to try to resolve. Um, Getting people to high lifts is not complex for me. Right? People who are already got a base for powerlifting or something, and they've already done base building, getting them up 2 tiers, that's not complicated for me. That's actually pretty easy. It's training people around pre-existing joint problems, I would say, is the most complicated, or surgeries, right? Um, Martin, it was a mix. So I don't know how to actually say that. Have I picked up clients as a result of it? Yes. So it's hurt me and it's helped me at the same time. It's created a lot of annoyance. But by that same token, I have legitimately picked up clients as a result of it who had never heard of me. They saw a bunch of the nonsense. They came to make fun of it or observe and then realized it actually wasn't entirely true. I actually knew what I was doing and hired me. So I've actually made money off of it indirectly. Do you ever work in team with a doctor? I don't know what that means. All right. So I don't know what you mean by in team with a doctor. Or do you mean do I have clients who I look at their doctor's notes and they run stuff back and forth? Yeah, that's normal as a coach. Do I discuss directly? Have I ever talked directly with a client's doctor? No. But do I look at what their doctor's recommendations have been? Which type of split are you using? Full bodies are unique, right? Good to hear you use it in a positive way, you know. But it's also taught me certain lessons. Like it's taught me the value more and more of keeping my personal life off the internet the best that I can. I'm now in a situation to where I can't keep my personal life completely isolated from the internet as of now. So not a problem. So at this point, the only way people can learn anything about me is by what I say, which is a beautiful situation. So it gives me control of the narrative to direct and misdirect whatever I want to do. Um, I'm not going to tell you, Skrillex. What kind of split are you? Yeah, we've already covered that. So, right. Other than I will simply say I'm in a position to where people have no access to anything or information about any aspect of my life. other than directly from me. Doesn't matter. Hey, Skrillex, they want to know anyways. No, I think it makes it more boring. It only makes stalkers want to. But people asking is irrelevant. Does that make sense? You can ask, but you're not going to get anywhere. But everything people now could please reword that in proper English as a coherent thought. Full body, yes, Vino. I do full body. So I squat, bench, and deadlift, and then accessory work 3 days a week. Do you ever find powerlifting too boring? I mean, I do different types of training anyways. My training is always going to be built around the big three. But powerlifting itself, no, not necessarily boring. Problem is there aren't a lot of options in strength sports. Olympic lifting, not really my thing. Strongman, high injury risk right now, and they turned it into equipped lifting 2.0. Strength lifting is just basically powerlifting with a small following and the bench replaced with the overhead press, right? So, Skrillex, no, that's not true at all, actually. All right. The Barbra Streisand effect is real. I don't know what that means. Yep. So sounds like you're kind of a stalker, Skrillex, but I'm trying to not. So I do have a question for you, Skrillex. And this is important if you'll just be honest. Are you a previously banned person who can now post in here? I need to know because I'm trying to unban people and I'm having trouble. I'm having a bug with it. So if you would please let me know that. Were you someone who is now able to post who was previously banned on this account? I would actually legitimately appreciate if you'd let me know. Like, even if you hate me and you hate my guts, I would just appreciate that info. I'm not going to reach up and ban you, by the way, just an FYI. I'm trying to see if my efforts to unban people is partially working or not. Because I've hit a bug with the system trying to do it. I'm actually trying to remove my block list. Is this a future rebrand or new project for you? I don't know. That remains to be seen, Martin. Venus says, what is your set reps per session of the big three? 1 to 5 reps, but sometimes I do really high reps on the bench. Right? We are all banned. Well, that doesn't make sense, Skrillex. I'm asking this account right now. Isn't it just, I think most of it is, Alan. But there's going to be a lot of old people who I've banned who were not part of the main ones I was banning every day. There's definitely just a handful of people. What's your current 5K PR, like 28 minutes? What do you think about Ireland? I've never been there. I always thought the ice cream fitness brand. Yeah, I just think with me being against refined sugars, it's probably not really ideal. Like 5 sets per exercise? No, 1 to 3 tops. Right. Yeah, that's somewhat recent. Okay, so this isn't one that I previously banned. So your other account is still banned, is what you're telling me. Like, this is Skrillex. Help me a little bit here. I'm trying to see if my efforts to unban people are working. Can your other account post, or is it still banned? I feel like you guys are so difficult to communicate with. Let me start over. I am trying to unban everyone. I need to see if the bug is allowing me to partially do it or if it's just ludicrous right now. And it didn't work. Okay, thank you. What is your initial time? Bros, if I'd have to check, you could go check my Strava app. A bunch of people follow me on Strava. And then I post screenshots on Facebook. We hit a PR mile time today. So I'm just slowly working on getting better, right? Like, I'm not an amazing runner. Like, I'm not over here claiming to be some elite runner. I just want to keep running to get better at running and to be fit. I just want to use the running to help me get into better shape and be healthier and fitter. All right. I hit 8 minutes, 17 seconds today. I was hoping it would be 8 minutes, but it was a little over. So next time we'll get it eventually. So like I want to just bring those down. So I want to get my 5K to 25 minutes, right? I want to get my mile down to like 7 minutes. These are like just goals I'd like to set coming up here in the future as I continue to just get fitter and work on strength and conditioning and all of that stuff more and more. So, I mean, obviously strength is always going to be my bread and butter, but I think that we should run and be fit. Right? Yep. You know, I think it's just a matter of us being fit and healthy. Like I think that we should be able to run. Like I don't care, even if you're an elite power lifter and you deadlift 800, 900 pounds, you should still be able to run. You know. Music says, I find it so unique that you still have haters and trolls that after so much time passed, remember when that dentist shot that lion and nobody remembers his name, but they remember me. Well, it's because they've created a whole continued story and a whole persona and a whole legend that at this point is 90% completely false at this point. And it's just carried on and on. And people keep attaching it back to me without realizing at this point, they're so far off from the actual real person that it might as well not be me. You know, I'm just glad to see that you're okay. Well, I appreciate that, Martin. Rest of this, that's not too shabby. The fun part about being a beginner is all the progress. Yeah, I mean, it's come along pretty quickly. I mean, I used to run a lot. I started with running, but it's been over 20 years. I took over 20 years off from running, and I started again this year. And I actually like it. It's fun. For the most part, occasionally I have days where I'm like, I don't want to run, but I go do it, you know. But a lot of days I get up there and I run and I really, really enjoy it. I do like the runner's high, right? Yeah, running's like any other skill. If you lose it, you lose it. But I will say that since I've undertaken the running, I feel healthier, right? I legitimately feel better physically. I can tell the difference. So it's one of those where I'm like, man, why didn't I start running again a couple of years ago? Like, why didn't I do this sooner? I was stubborn about it. And, you know, I shouldn't have been. But now that I've started doing it, I'm like, wow, I really should have started running again sooner. I really should have. I wish that I had. But you can't change that. But in terms of the benefits, I feel healthier. Like I can tell that I'm healthier just from the way that I feel day to day, you know, in terms of energy, in terms of mood, my ability to breathe deeper, you know. Probably getting leaner has helped too. And we'll slowly just continue to do leaner. How many pull-ups can you? I don't know. I mean, I did 3x10 yesterday with just a 10-pound plate, but that's after deadlifting. Fresh, I did mess around with them on an off day. I can do like 15 completely fresh, you know, but I'm like 209, 210 right now, which is okay. Not amazing. I've done more in the past, which I mean, I think is all right for my weight. I'm going to continue to work on pull-ups a lot more though. I like pull-ups. Again, I think they're phenomenal. Right? Kind of pull-ups just like running. It's like if you can't do pull-ups and you can't run, you're not really an athlete. And I think that's fair. Like someone threw that at me. And that's one reason I started running. And they said, well, you used to run. You said you used to run. You claim to be an athlete, but you don't run. And normally I ignore haters and critics. But that one hit me. It's one of those where it's like, you know, first of all, fuck you, you're a hater, but you're not wrong. You know, there are times when someone might be trying to be a hater and they drop legitimate criticism, and you have to step back and go, oh, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you know, he kind of has a point. Maybe I need to take this one point is a legit valid criticism. 90% of it is complete nonsense. You know, it's nonsense. That one, they had a point. And that fits into my philosophy of being well-rounded, you know? So it's like, all right, so if I actually want to be an athlete and not be a hypocrite by my own personal standards, I guess I better get my lazy ass out and run. Right. I haven't tested my PRs, but I've done box jumps. I've done 5x5, 10x3 up on the box on camera quite a bit. I haven't jumped this week, but last week I was jumping. I don't know what my total height is on the box. I don't feel like jumping as high as possible, risking falling. I'm old. But I mean, I've done like 5x5s on just my 24 just fine. You know, so I jump. And I was doing it every workout for a while up to 10 sets of box jumps. But so I can jump just fine. I don't know what my vertical would be. I've not tested it. But I can jump. And I do jump. And I do jump in some of my workouts, actually. I haven't done any in the last week. The week before I did. All right. Alexander Kirsten. I don't know. I need to research this. The Venus says, I've never been a runner, but when I was doing faster walking, steady state cardio daily, I felt much healthier. Right, there you go. All right, there you go. So Bro said, I can jump, and I do jump sometimes. You have to go to test your vertical correctly. You need a Vertimax. I would have to go to a place with a Vertimax. So again, I'm not worried about testing it. Thoughts on standing calf raises using the Smith machine, Rufio? You're dead to me. I suppose if you wanted to do calf raises, you could do them that way on a Smith machine, though. I'm reluctant to admit there might be a possible use for the Smith machine. I feel dirty. Or you can just place, yeah, but then the accuracy is very much going to be off. You know, I mean, you could just go do it with a Vertimax. I mean, I'm not that worried about knowing what my vertical is, to be fair. You know, calf raises on a belt squat, toes elevated. I've done that before too. I don't even need calf work though. Seriously, guys. No, I mean, really though, do I really need to do calf raises at this point? All right. Yeah, that's client Ted. Jason kicking the white man can't jump, sticking in the glove. You know, I mean, really, do I really need to do more calf raises? I think my calves are good. You know, forearm veins are good. We got vascularity going. Those calves are all steady. I get just sled work. Actually, I get an insane calf pump when I do sled work. What happened to the vlogs? What do you mean? Oh, Ted and I, we're going to start vlogs back up. He wanted a break from the vlogs. We'll be starting them back up. It's all good, though. Ted, the fans have been missing you, dude. They're like, Ted, the Ted Meister, Ted Aroma. Where you been, Ted? I think people would be interested in seeing you test the vertical and show how you can improve it. I don't know that you can improve it much with your training. You know that Mark Ripto says you can't improve it. He always said that it's completely genetic. That's a point of contention in the coaching world as to if you can actually increase your vertical or not. You know, I don't know that you can significantly. I think it's very heavily genetic. So let's get a forearm rating though for this vlog. We're almost an hour in. How are the forearms doing today, guys? On a 1 to 10 scale. How are we at on the forearms and the forearm veins? Let's get a rating 1 to 10. Even you, Brosip. Even the haters, man. Come on. Rate the forearms. I know you'll want to. That new vein appeared there. That wasn't there last week. We noticed that in one of the streams. See if I can trace it right. With this mirror image of the cam. Right. Can I do it correctly? Why can't I? There we go. That one up there. All right. Out of 12. Now you can do it. You can rate them out of 10. Ted says running, jump rope, and sled are better overall than machine for 3 sets. Calves are old man strength or farm strong muscles. Takes a lot of time and constant use of ability. Yeah. Yep. Is there ever a sport you wanted to do but never got a chance to be part of? I wanted to do bobsled and dog sled. Or you live in Texas. Brosa will give me 7.9 out of 10. I'll take that. I think that's reasonable, Brosa. I'll take a 7.9 on the forearms. Right. I'll take a 7.9. I don't know music. There's always little minor sports I thought about. I wanted to do a 3-gun, but never got around to it actually. And I do live in Texas. Upper arm and chest is honestly your only weak points, as you have mentioned in the past. Back, legs, forearms are definitely far above average, right? 0 out of 10. I'm jealous. I think they were thicker when you were 220-ish. What did they measure? I don't know. I need to measure them. I don't know that they were thicker then. Maybe. That's a good question. I haven't measured them. I'm not sure lately. I don't know if I have the tape in here. Coach, your fancy men where you have way more clients than are posted on your channel. I don't know why they don't know this, Ted. Thoughts on neck training? I think neck training has its place. I used to do plenty of it. I have a neck harness. Does riding bike build quads? Drop a super chat and I'll measure the forearms. I think that's fair. I think that's a legit request. But I'm not measuring stuff for free. This is, after all, a stream. Nobody's dropped a super chat on stream, so that one I want to get paid for. There you go. Someone dropped a super. Someone drops a super chat for a forearm measurement. I'll measure it, and I don't think that's unreasonable, right? You know. Oh, I just saw Shane. So right now at 2:59, ready for 2:60 Saturday morning for Masters. Sorry, I didn't even see the Facebook. I've been so busy over in the tube. Sorry about that, Shane. One of my regulars who competes in strength sports. To be clear, when we say weak point, I mean not above average. Far from being weak in terms, right? Because the funny thing is, like we know my arms are my weakest, right? We know my arms are my weakest muscle group, but in person, I actually get compliments in a t-shirt sometimes out in public. So it's kind of funny, you know? Do you think of trolling? To some extent, yeah. I don't know. I don't know that it'll ever really slow down. At this point, I just know that it's just there. It's just kind of one of those where it's like, I would almost be more shocked or panicked if it stopped. Like, as funny as it sounds, I've reached a point in life to where I just assume it's so consistent that if it all just stopped, I would probably freak out and go, oh my God, what happened? What's going on? That would probably create more panic than they could do. If we're gonna be actually honest, I've gotten so used to it that I would probably freak out for a moment. You know. But do you think heavy weighted underhand pull-ups are dangerous? I saw someone tear one of the lats. Underhand, they can be. Yeah, I've known guys who got hurt. The arms can look tiny if they have a big back. It's kind of weird. Hey, Hank, why would I tell you that? Back and forearms are so overdeveloped that good arms look less impressive, right? Yeah, that's the problem with the back. Right? That's the problem with the back sometimes. No, I'm not doing a glute spread, especially the lats, right? Um, any new insights from the recent training? So it's back. It's like I've always made good progress when I did that. I enjoy it. Right. I enjoy it. I think full body is fun, honestly. Like I find it personally enjoyable. It's why I did it for so long, for so many years too. I just enjoy the flow of it, because then you're not worried about, oh, is this muscle recovered? Did I get, it's like, then we just come in and train the body, you know? I feel like it's just a better flow state. Mm. Um, Coach, and thanks for clarifying your full body split. Awesome, man. So you guys can give some likes before you leave, guys. Tell them, man. Yeah, this has been some of the slowest likes. I don't know what's up. Shane says you can improve vertical, but it's not significant. I trained plyo box like crazy during my minor league career. Went from 28 to 31. Took my 40 from 4.8 to 4.6. So putting me in minor league hall. Oh, good stuff, Shane. So that's Shane over in the Facebook saying, um, yeah, that all that stuff. Um, all that work he put in only gained 3 inches on his vertical in the minor leagues. So he's a regular. He's a pretty good strength athlete. Hey Hank, that's just weird. See, that's why I stay strapped. Stay strapped or get clapped, homies. Right? All right. Hank, I just assume people aren't at this point with the crazy stuff trolls and other people put. I've seen some pretty hardcore fan fiction from some of the really long term haters. Like there's some creepy stuff out there. Like you're not even close. Dude, you're so many tiers down the creepiest one that I had to send to the police once. You're like 10 tiers under it. You're not even close. Yeah. World's fastest typer. Hmm. I'm a pretty fast typer, guys. I can do 70 words a minute when it was tested years ago. All your trolls are mad. Hank, I'm already fully aware of this, by the way. It's very clear from the stuff that they write that it is actually a sexual obsession. Like everybody knows this. My friends and family all know this. Everybody knows this. Like this is when these conversations come up in real life, this is actually what my friends and loved ones talk about. They're like, these people are like sexually obsessed with you. It's really weird. That's how they perceive it, by the way, the stuff they see. They're like, these people are all like in the closet fantasies about you. They're like, it's really fucking weird. Just an FYI. That's how they all perceive it. Yeah. So, it is what it is. What do you do? Oh, the trolls? Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's very clear. Like, it just is what it is. Look at the stuff that they write and type and the memes they make. And it's like, come on, dude. Even the obsession with my hips. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. You know? I mean, really, guys. Again, overwhelmingly obvious. And all the people who make the videos, it's like, it's overwhelmingly obvious. Hey, Hank, what a silly question. It's not even possible. I have a deep voice. I have facial hair. You guys have seen me grow thick chest hair. The answer is obviously no. I think you have trolls give you an idea of how women feel when guys are being creepy. Yeah, exactly. No, I totally understand, man. I totally understand what they go through. Right? Yes, Hank, I'm aware of this. But again, common sense. Common sense, dude. Again, research the basics of what that is. There's no way. So again, just stupidity. Shane says, wait, so I'm not supposed to want to bone you? Weird. Just kidding. Oh. For those who don't know Jason, he's always on the cutting edge of new studies for diet and is machine when it comes to kitchen work. Pay attention. Awesome. Appreciate it, man. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. Yeah. Keep an eye on people. Oh, this stream has gotten slow. I don't know that there's any point in keeping this one going for now. We're just talking about all this stuff. This is not even useful. All right. These conversations aren't useful, and the views have kind of ticked down. They're way lower than we had for coffee chat. I think tomorrow I need to pick a good topic. My sister? What are you talking about? My sister? No. First I've heard of it. Yeah, we got to pick something controversial. We did yesterday with the Candace Owens. Yeah, there's no point calling them out. I don't need to give them any attention at this point. Move on. In fact, I probably gave this more than it needed to. I'll probably not do that again in the future either. Yeah. So I don't think we need to do that. How about we just don't? How about we ignore all of it, Hank? That's what I think. You're probably him anyways. Yeah. All right. So that being said, not really much else going on in here. I might wind this down since it hasn't picked up. Been those supers, nothing else. It's probably been enough for the day. All right. So I'm gonna shut down the Facebook. Or should I run it longer? I don't know if there's any point. This has just been a slow stream. I mean, I could. But yeah, no, I'll end it. So let me wind down the Facebook. And let me give you guys a Mount by Cepheus before we go. Oh, Mount by Cepheus. And we're out.